for rhyming, for rapping. I was rapping on the corner. I was rapping at school. I was rapping at the tables, beatbox. We banging on the tables. It was before everything was so accessible.
Right.
So and then to answer the question how we evolved to where we at, it was like there was a group named New Sounds. New Sounds came out, right? New Sounds is my partner Raj and Chaz Rich. It originally was it was Papa Jam at first, you know what I mean? And Papa Jam, Chaz, they was from the Valley Park, right? They had a group. Chaz used to mess around. Papa Jam, Colin, he used to he used to hang out. From what I heard, they used to have the Kango Crew. The Kango Crew was supposed to be um, Slick Rick, Dana Dane, and Papa Jam. This is what I heard. So they had a group named New Sounds. Somehow Papa Jam did one record that was on Strong City. Then Rashid came in, right? He kind of replaced it, so it was Chaz and Rashid. So at that particular time, they had a deal. New Sounds. That's when Rocky's from the Valley. They had him and Jazzy J had a label named Strong City, right? So they came out on Strong City, and I was on that album. And I did a little writing, just a little writing for that album. Nothing too crazy. Not like they couldn't write for themselves, but I got a little writing on that album. I was on that album. You know what I mean? Then from there, we had a group named True Culture. It was all out of like French Connection. It was like we formulated the production, French Connection production. That's like Big Phil, that's fashion. You know what I mean? So then True Culture came out. True Culture was on Cardiac Records. You know what I mean? So I was with New Sounds, making moves with them, performing. I was then True Culture came out. Shout out to Dread. Shout out to Mike Easy Mike. They came out. I was on their album. Now, me and Rashid, which was on New Sounds. I don't know what Chad decided to do, but so we and him we were solo artists. So we just said, you know what, we're gonna formulate. We've been around each other for a certain time. We formulate. So it's True Culture, then Strictly Roots, and that's how Strictly Roots came about. And then because I had access to my own studio, that just made things just real simple for me. You know what I mean? I was able to just be like, yo, we're gonna get the studio, we formulated concepts and how we wanted to represent. We had two examples of how we represented, you know what I mean? And then that came, and then Broadway evolved out of that Strictly Roots movement. You know what I mean?
Going back to the Strictly Roots situation, what kind of dues did you guys pay earlier on?
What do you mean?
Before cutting some of the records, shows, what kind of dues did you guys pay as far as doing shows, deals that didn't kind of go the right way, anything?
Well, we was really independent. Like I said, because you got to look at it like I told you, there was two. The production company was in a situation where there was already two people who were signed. They were signed to subsidiary labels, right? And so that left kind of a bitter feeling in everyone's mouth. And then at that time, I was a little older, so we were doing our thing. You know what I mean? So we had to connect. So we was able to do our own little thing. Reach out to distribution companies, reach out to management. You know what I mean? We were trying to get it was an opportunity for us to be with famous. So we were kind of under famous, and then it was like we wasn't down with Loud, but we was working out of Loud office. You know what I mean? We wasn't part of RCA, but we was running RCA street team. So we was co-oping a lot of scenarios for us to be where we was at, to do it how we wanted to do it. Because it's like at that time, I was more unfiltered. I was more like, I was out the box. It was different. You know what I mean? I was raw. I was a raw recording artist. So even when I listen to myself, like sometimes I sound like this. I was also experimental too. I didn't attempt to just stick to one sound. I was more like a mood artist. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like whatever mood I was in. And then after I got used to recording, then things just started to really change. You know what I mean? But But that's what it was. It wasn't like the bad deals. I feel like the bad deals, it wasn't really a bad deal, but I was in a situation like at the end of everything when I was doing the Broadway stuff, the label was telling me to go out there when I'm doing these interviews for them to pay single and tell them I have this album coming and stuff like that. And I'm looking at it like, well, y'all didn't give me no album money, so I'm not gonna go out there and tell my people I have an album coming and y'all didn't give me the album money. You know what I mean? I wasn't doing that. You know what I mean? And
Right.
so, you know, that was an interesting time too. But we was independent, man. We was really like independent. We pressed up our records because we knew what to do. I told you, my pops was his own studio. He used to get cut stampers, take the stampers and get it pressed. So we had the opportunity to use the knowledge that we had and do it ourselves. And then Biggs had us distributing with like, you know, because at that time there was big there was distributors, regional distributors. I forgot the name of them, but so we was to just all we had to do was solicit it to them, go out there and promo our records, and that's what we would do. You know what I mean? So it wasn't like a bad deal scenario for me per se. You know, Raj, he was signed, like I said, he was over there Strong City. And Cardiac Records was involved with New Sounds. And what I did forget to mention, the first time I heard myself on a hip hop record was a Zulu Nation record. It was a record, a Black and I'm Proud record. You know what I mean? In a sense where one time DJ Fashion was producing a record for Bam, and it was like he just was bringing different MCs in.
Mm-hmm.
So I ended up on a cut, and then I heard myself that, and I think Ted Ted and them played it that night. You know what I mean? So that's the first time I heard myself on a hip hop record, like, cause it was mad versions of I'm Black and I'm Proud.
Right.
But when I heard myself on, I was like, oh yeah, they
That's it.
know you know they know what time it is. So
Right.
that propelled it to another level too. Cause once people around me seen that, they were like, all right, we gonna make sure we get you to where you need to be. You know what I mean? So it was real customized. I was fortunate, man. I think, you know, I'm blessed. I just give thanks for everything. You know what I mean?
What did the deal consist of over at Friends Connections Productions?
But it was our company. You know what I mean? So
Okay.
it was more like, yo, Rohan made the beats. Me and Raj, we was responsible for the record. We all came together with the concepts, and Big Phil was like the biggest business person. You know, you go out there, he move and shake it, and you know, he kind of did the business part of it. Cause what up, Biggs? I didn't really want to deal P Gates here and there now. Biggs was like, you know, I didn't really want to deal with the business part. At that time, I wanted to run up and down, deal with the chicks, hustle, wild out with my dudes, say my rhyme, give me the microphone, you know what I mean? And we gonna tear it up, you know what I mean? And that's how the Friends Connection thing was structured. When we get the money, we break bread with each other, and we rock like that.
Was Duck the Boys and Getting It Open your first release in '92 on this label?
Duck the Boys is the first release. The Police was not happy about Duck the Boys in Blue at all. You know what I mean? They when they was playing the video, we got the word quick like, yo, they don't like that. They want them to stop playing that, you know. And it was funny because I didn't think about it that way. You know, I just wanted, this is the message. You know, NWA was on the West Coast banging out, you know, Funk the Police. I'm like, yo, yeah, we got a problem over here. Black 47 had a grudge. So we was just going in on that. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's what it was. So people loved it. It's like people loved it, but and the police hated it. You know, so it was
Right.
interesting. And you see, it was relevant, you know, because, you know, my thing was trying to make Marley-esque kind of music, you know what I mean? So if you played it then, it was relevant then, and Marvin Gaye style, right? And you play it now, it's relevant now. Like, so when you play the music, you're like, damn, it's like, yo, that's just still going on, or it's still relevant to today. You know what I
Right.
mean? So that was really the goal of Strictly Roots at the time. Like, yo, we did it nice cookie cutter this way, but this time we're gonna do it like this. You know what I mean? We're gonna represent. Cause you know what I mean? We holding, we hustling, we doing what we doing. But you know, at that time, nobody really wanted, radio wasn't really friendly. You know what I mean? But
Right.
when they came in, when they dropped, when Rohan played the NWA joint in the building, I'm like, yo, they cursing, they doing what the hell? Oh yeah, this is our alley right here. You know what I mean? And
Right.
that's how the Duck the Boys in Blue came in, and then the Getting Open was me and Ross. Like, yo, we gonna go in, we gonna show them that we nice. You know what I mean? We gonna show them that we could MC, show them that we nice. And shout out to Red Alert. Red Alert loved the joint. You know what I mean? I owe a lot to Red. I owe a lot to Ralph. You know what I mean? Them people looked out. You know what I mean? And then, and then other DJs. Other DJs too. What up, Robo? You know what I mean? We got some real live ones in the chat. So I'm telling you,
No
because
doubt.
a
No
lot of
doubt.
people is there. You know what I mean? And
Right.
but I feel like I owe a lot to Red. I feel like I owe a lot to Ralph. You know what I mean? Because they supported our movement. And, I guess they felt like, yo, I went from the Northeast Bronx. You know what I mean? So we wasn't people who was coming from out of there wasn't like, yo, we from the Northeast Bronx. Flex is from up there, Slick Rick from up there. It's right on the border where Heavy D was from. You got Jesse West right on the border over there by Mount Vernon. He was over there. I know Fat Doug, he was on Uptown over there. You had Nine. Nine is another person who came to the Valley, and he used to rhyme on the mic. I had a lot of, back then he was Ricochet. I had a lot of respect for Nine too. I still have a lot of respect for Nine, you know what I mean?
Right.
So they was like from the Northeast Bronx, but it wasn't like they were like, yo, Northeast Bronx. So it was a thing like, yo, we gonna represent this side of town, showing how we get down from where we from. You know what I mean?
Right. After that first release, were the major labels now knocking on the door at you guys?
Yeah, but we were so cocky at the time. You know what I mean? Because we felt like we didn't need them. You know what I mean? It was funny. You know what I mean? Because at that time, it's like when we was really bubbling, it's like we was all right. We were dealing with like specialists, especially Shabba Ranks and them people, right? So we had like Tony Kelly producing some joints for us. It's like, yo, we were like on one of the records, it's like on one of the Roots and Culture records, it was really supposed to be Shabba Ranks doing that. You know what I mean? Like Shabba Ranks
Right.
himself, you know what I mean? Shabba Ranks was supposed to be doing that Roots and Culture stuff, blah, blah, blah. And that's how Famous came in, because he was coming through some stuff. So we was really bullying a lot of scenarios, you know what I mean? A lot
Right.
of, it's amazing. I'm telling you, son. It's amazing. But we was cocky. So when the record labels came, we was doing interviews. I was like, yo, Warner ain't my brother and all kind of crazy shit. Yo, so I was wild, because just felt like we don't need them. You know what I mean? It's like
Right.
we could have used them, but at that time, I felt like we didn't need them. So it's like we had some opportunities, and we just didn't. We didn't run with it. You know what I mean? We didn't
Right.
run with it. So that's kind of funny. I don't know if it's a good or a bad thing, but because then people have control over how you say what you want to say. Gavin, what up? You know what I mean? What you want to say. We was really not those type of people, man. It's like where we from. Like we from the V, you know what I mean? We from the Valley, man. Uptown, shout out to Northeast Bronx. You got Gun Hill. Shout out to B Road. Shout out to Edenwald, Secor. You know what I mean? Boston Road, White Plains Road, Gun Hill Road. That's our area right there. Truman, Evander, Clinton. That's our area right there. Then Rosh, Rosh is from LIP. You know what I mean? So I'm from the North, he's from the Bronx. So it's like we was uniting. We used to unite shit. Yo, we used to go places, man. We used to be mobbing, and it used to just be insane. We had South Bronx, North Bronx, Jamaicans, crazy shit, crazy. You know what I mean?
No
So
doubt.
at that time, I was like, yo, we don't need no niggas. And then my brother and them was like, yo, if the deal ain't this, we don't want it. So we was wilding, son. You know what I mean? And then after that, everybody, a couple of years later, everybody, we independent. We independent. So
Right.
It was good to see. You know what I mean?
In '93, you guys released "Beg No Friends." What was the concept behind that track, and what kind of reaction did you guys get when that dropped?
Well, Beg No Friends is really a remix of a record that we did. Beg No Friends, it was slower, you know what I mean? Beg No Friends was the name of the EP. We put out an EP, right? So the EP was Beg No Friends. And then, you know, while we was making a lot of noise, making a lot of moves, then it's like we start to incorporate affiliates. You know what I mean? It's like, cause you know, it's like we was doing some of the music in Jazzy J's studio, in Strong City studio. You know what I mean, and that was real influential. Cause me personally, I always used to hear about these people when I was growing up. You know what I mean? And but I I don't want to say I idolized them, but I was always a fan of true hip hop. So I met Bam in Jazzy J studio. I met Fat Joe in Jazzy J studio. Diamond D, Showbiz, AG. You know what I mean? Now they was from a different part of town than we was. You know what I mean? And like I wasn't like I wasn't really easy to talk to. It was like it was more like I'm a talk. And if you talk and I'ma talk, you know what I mean? Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
But so those affiliations, and then Grand Pooba at that time was part of Masters of Ceremony. You know what I mean? So we had some relationships, and so we had the opportunity to be like, yo, we're gonna put together a song, put together the music, and then we're gonna do this. And Beg No Friends, we elected Beg No Friends. Fashion made the music. We jumped in there. I was just so excited to have that type of company. I just went in there. I banged out the verse. I mean, those times it's like in the DJ business, it was like, yeah, Bourgeois, you had Shabba, you know what I mean? So, so it was just heavy voice business. So I just went in there like, yo, I have a heavy voice too. I'm gonna just go in there and heavy up the voice, you know what I mean? So I used to go through hell, like, what the hell is he saying? Blah, blah, blah. But now niggas can hear the shit clearly. You know what I mean?
Right.
But it was before your time and you're doing something that's never been done before. It's like, as an artist, it's like I just did what I felt good. You know what I mean?
Right.
My shit was like, yo, we raw. This is how we feel. We want to give them this energy. If they don't like the rhyme, they gonna love the energy. They don't love the energy, they gonna love this beat. You know what I mean? So it was always a thing for me. And where it's like I had to come, like I came it's like it's funny with the remixes, like I was at the other side of the hook. You know what I mean? So it was like I used to catch hell sometimes because niggas is all right, the line of Rosh, Pooba, Joe, and then some other dude who, you know what I mean? Then this
Right.
other dude, and then Chill Will is on the track. Shout out to Chill Will. What up, my niece? Della B, big up, So it's like, with that being said, but it caught on. Big Phil, like, don't worry, man. That shit that you did, that shit crazy. They gonna be playing it. So it got to a point where I was getting, some shines. You know what I mean? But the Big No Friends was a political endeavor, man. And then I got love for Joe, Fat Joe. Any show we said we was going, Fat Joe would come. That's a hard working dude, man. Hard
Right.
work. I respect Joe, man. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like I respect Joe. Pooba always did. Like Pooba, I could call Pooba right now, get him on the phone like on 2 rings and shit like that. So I respect people for that because people don't really see me like that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So,
You guys dropped the EP. What was the plan after the EP, and why no full album materialized with Strictly Roots?
well, because we was independent, so it was more like if we're not gonna make a video for every song, because you have to understand, like we funded the Dr. Boys, we funded the Beg No Friends remix. You know what I mean? Pooba's in the building. Pooba's close by. Tell the God I said peace. Pooba's close by. You know what I mean? Um, we funded that, so everything is money. When we moving, is money. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, cause I was, I was doing what I was supposed to be doing at that time. So, and I wasn't living like I didn't think I was gonna get to 27. So, you know what I'm saying? I just didn't know because I dealt with a lot of death, man, and I just wasn't sure. So I was just going at it on a way where, however it go, like I rhyme like, my first son's trizzy for my mama's insurance. I'm an only child from my mom's, and my father got mad youths. And I didn't want to tell you the number, you know what I mean? But
Right.
we got a village alone, and then But that's how that went down. You know what I mean?
You touched on what happened with the group early on in this interview. Can you go back to what happened eventually at the time with Strictly Roots?